Welcome to Clash of Health. Thanks for being here today. It's Free Flow Friday. And before I start Free Flow Friday, I wanted to just comment on my Akashic weather reports or lack thereof in the last week. I got a sense a week ago that there was some kind of completion with I don't want to call it the mandate, but the guidance I received back in August on Lionsgate to make these videos and put out what I was getting pretty much daily in the Akashic realm. And for some reason, I feel a sense of completion, I guess is a good word, or relief, maybe, to not have this pulse to do this every day. And I can honestly say that I have been going into the Akash. I'm getting pretty much the same thing that I've been getting since the start of the new year, kind of this bifurcation of the the roads that we either will choose to take, one or the other. And these roads, I think, are dictated by a sense of, going further towards the light and just being in a place of wonderment and joy and openness to new and spirit and letting go of the old paradigm. And that's not easy for any of us to do, but I definitely think that's going to be necessary that we release some of what is holding us back. And the interesting thing is the more that I realize this, the more I appreciate this dimension. I've just really like every day I wake up and I'm like, wow, thank you. This food is so good. I'm excited to go to the gym. I'm happy about my car. And it's just been really kind of an appreciation for what I have in my life with the knowledge that life could change at any point in time and just a willingness to go with that, to just 100% open my heart and 100% try to be non-attached. So that's where I'm at with my life. And that's why I haven't been putting out these weather reports as I was. I'm sure I'll be doing some in the future, but right now I'm just kind of taking a little hiatus just to see what the pulse is for what's next. But I wanted to put out a video today, and I want to talk about what's called a Khavaigunya. So Ayurveda is just a beautiful science of life. It's life science, and it's living in harmony with that which is around us. And just through our input and output, we want to find this kind of this way, this flow of bringing in air and bringing in food and love and ideas that are prolific. And then we allow the waste to leave us. So the waste could be like exhalation and, sweat and poop and urine and things like that. Well, what we don't release that is waste ends up sitting in our tissue, and it's called ama. And it seems to find its way to different spots in our body that are weak spots, and we call those Khavaigunyas. Kav, Kha, indicates space, and Kavaigunya, the other half of it, is more like an empty space or a weak space in our body. Be it weak because we've overdone it, overused it, kind of abused it, and also it could be like ancestrally weak, an area where we have a proclivity for disease if we're not careful. And so the optimization of input and output is through transformation of Agni. And the word Agni implies fire. So we have this digestive fire that we want to be just perfect. We want to kind of like Goldilocks. We don't want it to be too much or not enough. We want it to be just right. And so if that Agni isn't proficient, if it's overdone or underdone, there's this buildup of Agni or of Ama waste that kind of spills over from the digestive channel into these spots in the body where it kind of lodges. So a good example is somebody who's more Kapha might have a proclivity, a family proclivity or genetic predisposition to type 2 diabetes. And let's say they are drinking a lot of cold drinks, they're not moving around much, they're eating when they're not hungry, their Agni is not going to be proficient in metabolizing the food that they're taking in, and it's going to affect the pancreas, it's going to affect the liver. And so the liver is going to become irritated and overused, and there's going to be a buildup of toxins, and it's going to affect other organ systems like the kidneys and the pancreas and the heart eventually. And so this results in this lodging in these this weak space where there's not going to be a proficient ability to metabolize sugar or what breaks down to be sugar, glucose. And so the cells are not getting the nutrients with diabetes, and the bloodstream is, just letting the sugar sit there because there's no transformation of the sugar from the foods into a usable form within the tissue. So that would be an example of a Khavaigunya. So I'd love for you to just take a little time to think about, is your Agni optimized? Are you hungry for your meals? How do you feel after you eat? Those are big indications of the proficiency of Agni and the ability to eliminate through especially urine, sweat, and feces. And if your poop is looking a little funky and you're not pooping on a regular basis, AKA at least every day, and your poop doesn't look like a soft banana, but it's something like crumbs or it's lodging at the bottom of the toilet, it's sticky and smelly, that's an indication that there's probably some ama that is not getting released. It's building up in the body and it's finding its way to a weak spot in your body that could result in disease if it's not addressed. So, thinking about, are you hungry for your meals? Are you hangry? If you're hangry for your meals, maybe your digestive fire is being overtaxed. It's what we call tikshna agni. It's too sharp. Manda Agni would be like that diabetic, maybe, where they weren't hungry for their meals, they were eating anyway. So there was like this excess of overflow into the tissues where it attacks the liver and the other organ systems where the proficiency of glucose wasn't getting to the cells, but sitting in the bloodstream. So are you hungry for your meals? Are you over hungry, under hungry? How's your poop look? And do you feel like you have a weak spot in your body? Like, what are your weak spots? Because we all have them, and we know where they are because that's where um, issues come up over and over again. And unfortunately, that's where chronicity, chronic conditions happen in these Kavya. So, food for thought. Have a good day, and I definitely will be putting a video out there at some point that hints at the Akash. I just don't know how it's going to look at this point in time. So stay tuned, and thanks for coming to the channel today, if you're here.